of the indirect transfer of control of FiberLight LLC to FiberLight Holdings 1 LLC, and for approval, NUC Pro Tunk of the direct transfer of control on FiberLight LLC to FiberLight Holdings 2 LLC. Ms. Stenmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me?
I can.
Thank you. The proposed transactions are an internal reorganization of FiberLight's holding companies. FiberLight holds a certificate of public convenience and necessity to provide facilities-based and resold local exchange and inter-exchange services throughout the state, but they currently have no customers in Mississippi. After completion of the transaction, which was completed back in July, FiberLight retains its authorization and continues to provide service to customers. The reorganization does not cause any change to the rates, terms, and conditions of service for any FiberLight customers. The petition was filed with the FCC on August 14th, 2020, and authority was granted by the FCC on August 19th, 2020. Staff has reviewed the petition and finds it in order. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, is there any questions on this? Having no questions, do we have a motion?
Motion moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now we're going to move on to the administrative agenda. Number 1, discussion and possible action and docket number 2020 AD 107, Northeast Mississippi Electric Power Association petition for declaratory opinion. Ms. Dixon?
Actually, Commissioner, I'm going to be handling that one.
Okay.
This is Catherine Collier. Mr. Chairman, before you is a declaratory opinion requested by Northeast Mississippi Electric Power Association concerning the Commission's jurisdiction over the EPA's facilities and whether a municipality, through an ordinance, can place restrictions upon construction of said facilities and require a public utility to install its distribution facilities underground. As explained more particularly in the opinion, this opinion finds that the Commission's exclusive original jurisdiction over public utilities includes an EPA's operations and facilities, specifically regarding underground service. That's all I have.
I move we approve the opinion as presented.
Any questions? Do I have a second?
Got a second?
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, I'm gonna at this time recognize Commissioner Presley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to call the Commission's attention to these waves of deregulation notices that are being filed with our small telecommunications carriers. To this day, we've yet to understand, either from the staff, the petitioners, quite frankly, anybody, how these deregulation petitions are, in fact, in the public interest, what their effects are on the customers, what their effects are on service to be provided. I understand we got notice today that 7 more have been filed today related to that, vast majority of which seem to be in the Northern District, Fulton Telephone, Bruce, and others. And I just want to call the Commission's attention and the party's attention and the staff's attention to these matters. My understanding is that there's 2 UA dockets from last month in which an order has not been entered to approve, but the UN filings on the tariff went in approved uncontested by anybody related to those, and I object to that and would move that, I'm not making a motion, but would just want to go on the record in the time between now and the December meeting that some investigation ensue related to this from the public utility staff related to what the effects are on the customers with this idea of deregulation. This has been used in the past, but it was after a more rigorous type of look into these type of events and what the effects are on the customers. I have grave concern related to these companies' ability to continue as an eligible telecommunications carrier receiving federal dollars. What if, and there may be none, but the question to be asked of what effect does that have related to their continuation and their obligations to serve. My understanding is, and what I've read, that these have been filed as if the Commission simply must just do what the company says do, rather than have a hearing or have an answer or ask questions or get any details related to what the effects are on customers. nobody right now that I know of can find an answer for any of us as to what the effects to the customers are going to be, what the effects to the service is going to be, and yet these things are coming in pell-mell. So I just want to use this one opportunity that we have before now in December to put the companies in my district on notice that we need to understand what the effects of the customers are, what, in fact, is being done in these filings outside of just the basic things that have been sent in. We have no idea related to that. We have no idea related to where my understanding is from the attorney I text today that they will be continuing as an eligible telecommunications carrier, taking the federal money, but being self-policed and on the honor system when it comes to how they provide telecommunications. One good example would be Fulton Telephone Company in Etowah County, which has been a monopoly phone company for a long time, one in which I get numerous customer complaints about, and yet we don't know the effects of this, and nobody seems to be able to get us or willing to get us an answer as to what those are. So between now and December the 6th, I would hope that those companies, and I want this on the record, Ms. Collier, those companies in the Northern District that are filing for this self-policing, that they would at least exhibit something to this commission as to what is in the public interest related to them being deregulated. They've been regulated. Their costs have been regulated for decades. I've been here 12 years, and this is outside of one small filing with CenturyLink years ago. This is the first time it's happened. There's just a lot of questionable items related to the timing of this, the impetus behind this, and we have not gotten a full picture on it, and I just, quite frankly, object to us not exercising whatever jurisdiction we can exercise, at least to the very least, to understand what happens to the customers who are customers of these companies, and what effect does it have on their bills, and what is the reasoning behind this. And I don't for 1 second understand anybody that has a logic that says the commission should not ask those types of questions. And so I'd like for the public utility staff to please help us get an understanding as to what's going on with these filings and what the effects are on them, because heretofore I don't think we've gotten anything out of them on that. So I just want to put that on the record. I know we come back on December the 6th, but personally as a commissioner representing these people, that are the vast majority of whom, the 8, we need to know what's going on with this. I mean, we have no idea. So that's all my comments, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm just a little bit hot under the collar about it. Thank you, sir.
Well, no problems, and I think that's kind of something we all want to hear about. But is Director Doty in the room?
She's not.
Catherine, can you make sure to send her our request on that?
Yes, sir, I absolutely will. It's possible that she's listening on the phone now.
Director Doty, are you on the phone call? Are y'all muting her? Because you muted me.
Staff, can anyone from staff confirm whether or not Ms. Doty is on the call?
Well, it's on the record now. Let's do some follow-up for Commissioner Presley for sure, and I'd certainly like to know that as well.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Commissioner Bailey would. It would be good to know why this is all happening. I concur with that. So having said that, do we have any more questions or comments?
I guess just sort of follow up on that. So, sort of unfamiliar to me as far as the deregulation process and the manner in which these are going in. So there's not a formal hearing process for that once deregulation is applied for, and doesn't it, as far as the impact to services and customers, does that now open those areas up for competition from others?
My understanding is that the companies have contended in their filings, at least to a certain degree, that it does open up those areas to competition from others, but nothing fact-based has been filed in that. And then secondly, as far as the effect of the customers, I think the language was carefully crafted in the filing to say that there will be no effect come 11/1. Well, that doesn't talk about 11/2, 11/5, 12/1, 1/1, 2/1, 3/1. only on 11-1, there won't be any changes to the customer. Now, my understanding of the law is that these are notice filings, but there is nothing that prohibits the commission from holding a hearing on these matters to at least let the public and the consuming public have notice on it. And that's part of my ire here, is that we're being told, and nobody's, I mean, it's obvious, it seems to be the wild, wild west on this, because we have not, have anything in the docket about it as to what the effect on those customers are. And so my understanding, Commissioner Bailey, is that yes, it will open up for competition. I think that's in some degree a little bit of a mirage in some ways, but again, we don't have anything that tells us. And then secondly is the notice, the ability for the customers to understand what's going on. That's my paramount issue, is that you've got people that are going to, these companies that have applied for this honor system form of phone regulation that they're seeking, very well may do the totally, may keep their rates in place, but the public doesn't know that, and we don't have any way of knowing it. And these have come on. It's just the timing of a lot of these events is very strange to me, and I'd just like to, again, we may not be one thing we can do about it, but we can make it transparent for the public to know what's going on.
Well, I can certainly see how there are risks associated with this from multiple perspectives, and I guess more information is never hurtful. So,
thank y'all.
Cease my comment section.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that.
No worries. If there's nothing else, then we'll call the meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving, guys. Thank y'all.